That is so good. It's so good. I love that tea. Ah, let's see there. Just bring down the volume on the pad. I want to make sure that I can see whatever you're writing to me here. So I'm just going to pause that video there. Don't need to have that video playing. There we go. So, hello for hello and welcome to Jakob Live. Today we are going to do experiments. Well, not experiments. I'm going to show you what you can actually do with a delay pedal. And I want to thank for those of you who are here. Thank you for joining up. I hope we're going to have some fun. I got this idea some time ago. I, I'm having problems getting my words out. Okay, so I'm gonna try to use my words properly now. So, for many years, I've tried to explain concepts on my channel instead of just doing the same tutorial over and over for the same thing, only in 10 different. Like a lot of the time, I get questions, Jacob, how do you set up MIDI for this synth? How do you set up MIDI for this synth? And it's in 99% of the cases, it's always the same way. And back when we were using IAA mostly, well, it usually was the same thing. The only thing you had to do was to find the settings and then go to the MIDI section, and there you went. I didn't want to make 100 videos of setting up the MIDI in 100 different synthesizers, so I tried to explain the concept of setting up MIDI. And every time someone asks me, I just send them the link for that video. I want to make something similar for my main channel. And so I thought I'd do a little rehearsal for something that I will do on the main channel. And it's about delays and what a delay really is, what you can do with a delay, and how you kind of only need a delay if you ever want a chorus, or if you ever want a flanger, or if you ever want a Haas engine, if you ever want something like that, you could just make your own with a delay. It's a kind of a simple process. And once, if you've never done this, if you don't know about this, once you know about it, everything changes when you finally realize what you have. So, hello and welcome to everyone. I can see a lot of people just joining up in the chat, like Samuel, Jason, Rozak. I'm probably butchering your name. I'm really sorry about that. Dave, Nick, Sasha, and Russ, and I've already said hello to a lot of you in here. Pal or Paul. I don't know how you want to do that, but we got Roy or 3, and that's pretty much it. I will be trying to acknowledge more people as you come in here, but I don't want the intro to be too long. I've already taken some time. So the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to just explain real quickly what I have here. Everything I have here on screen is pretty much it's just an AUM session, and I've got two different delays loaded, and I'm going to use two different delays to do pretty much the similar stuff, but some delays are better suited for certain type of effects when you want to make them yourself than others because of how they work, the way the modulation work. Some of the delays don't have modulation, and you need to be able to have modulation inside your delay in order to get a chorus effect out of it, or to get a flanger effect out of it. You really need modulation. If you want to make a Haas engine, you don't need modulation. You don't want modulation. I'll show you why. So I'm just gonna close down the Magic Death Eye. I only keep this here because, you know what? I'm gonna switch over to the microphone. And I was getting a doubling of the audio. It sounded like I already had chorus on there. So you let me know if that's the case. It sounds weird in my headphones. I'm gonna turn down my microphone here now. And now you should be having no audio, right? And yeah, okay, so I got my microphone on. It to me it already sounds like I've got kind of like a chorus effect or something going on here, and it's not helpful if you're hearing the same thing. But that's just the way it is, I guess. I can't really do something about that right now. Sasha, am I pronouncing your name wrong, Sasha? Hello, Dimitri. Okay, so I'm gonna open up the first effect, and what I'm using here is FD1 Filter Delay by Kai Aras. And the first thing we're gonna set up is I'm just gonna turn on the effect, because as we turn it on, it just sounds like a delay. Now the trick here to what we're gonna do first is we're gonna create a chorus effect. And the trick with chorus effect is a chorus effect is just a delay with a very, very short delay time. Because these are time effects, chorus, flanger, even phaser, but phaser is more than that. It's actually time and filter, because you need filters. And if I had it set up, I could do a phaser here too, but I need more delays and some filters and some other modulation. So maybe I'll do that in some other episode, you know, further down the line in a modular like myRack, but not now. So I'm gonna just pull down on the delay time. And for a we already have a chorus here, kind of. Let's see here. I'm gonna go down to about 35 milliseconds. And what I want to do now is I want to move the delay time around, and I want to do it in a very small amount. And with FD1, Kai Aras's FD1, it has a modulation routing. So I'm going to send the LFO to the delay time. So I just long press on the LFO frequency and I get this little thing here. And then I just increase the LFO to... sorry, I'm on the wrong one. I need to do it on the delay time. I want the LFO to affect the delay time. So I'm going to increase this to about 1 or 2%, not more than that. So I've got it at 2% right now, and there's already some weird stuff going on here. I think I'm gonna make that even smaller. Get it down to 1. And I'm gonna mess around a little bit with, like right here we're getting some weird tremolo effect. If I can remove the direct sound and just do, you can hear that. It sounds like a weird, what do you call it, like a vibrato effect, because that's also, it's the same thing. So we've already made a vibrato effect. Now, in order to get this to sound like a proper stereo chorus, Kai has implemented a stereo spread. So I'm gonna use that and pull down on this effect a little bit. And we've already got a chorus here. If I increase the time to 60, let's see there, and there we go. Now I should have probably just set up a what do you call it, a synthesizer in this thing, because then it wouldn't have sounded nice. Let's see here what you're saying. Yeah, Enrique Rafael says, wouldn't a chorus also include a pitch shifting mechanic? Well, that's the thing. When you're moving the delay time around, you are getting a pitch shifting effect, and that's why that's what the chorus is. It's the pitch shifting slightly, and that's what we're doing with the LFO. So the LFO moving the delay time around will pitch the audio. And as you can see, I just pulled down on the delay level here, because without it we're not getting that chorus, but with it we're getting the chorus. So you're correct in thinking that there's a pitch shifting effect in there, but there's not a pitch shifter. It's just the delay time shifting in time, and that's, you know, producing a pitch shift. Now we can make this into a flanger,
And in order to do that, we have to work a little bit on it, and we have to make the time of it, the timing for the delay time, even smaller. And we have to increase the feedback. Let's see here. Mind blown. I'm feeling like a fool thinking that these are different effects. No, don't feel dumb. We've all... Hey, it's okay to feel dumb. It's okay. I've been dumb. I mean, I had to learn all of this at some point. I didn't always know this. So don't feel bad about not knowing. It's good to be interested, and it's good to want to learn. And I always respect that in a person. It doesn't matter how dumb someone might sound. When they actually want to learn, a huge amount of respect. Huge amount of respect. And I wouldn't ridicule anyone for not knowing. Let's see here. Okay, so in order for us to make this become a flanger, we have to do stuff a little bit differently. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to decrease the delay time. So I'm going to up the delay level and decrease the delay time to about maybe, let's see here, I'll do it to like 7 ms, and we're already getting a weird sound here. And now what I am going to do is I'm going to make sure that this effect is kind of like mono-ish, because with this effect, with FD1, it sounds the best. So listen to this. Okay, full stereo spread sounds like this, and we're getting a haSing effect, but we've got an LFO moving the delay time, so we're getting this weird movement between the channel. So we're pretty much creating a moving haS effect, a stereo widener, because that's another effect you can do with a delay. It's a haS and a stereo widener is kind of the same thing. I hope I'm not hurting your ears with this weird audio, because for me it feels weird. Alright, so with this very, very, very short delay time, 8 milliseconds, 7.5 milliseconds, we're now going to increase the feedback. And we're increasing the feedback now, and we're getting some weird effect. Now what I'm going to do is pull down on this and listen closely to what happens when I go down into minimum spread. So here we are, and now we are getting some very weird, interesting flanging effects, and that is so nice. And we're just using a delay unit here. I'm gonna pull it up and we can hear it even more. I mean, my mind was blown the first time I sat down and made some experiments with this, and I got these kind of accidentally. And I think that's how the first... I talked to this with a developer friend of mine, Kaiaras, the guy who made this plugin. I think does anyone know that? I don't know if it's fact, but I heard from him that he said that someone discovered the chorus effect by mistake using a delay. I'm not sure. Brian Eno, I think someone did that. If someone knows more about it, just tell me. Yeah, it's a pretty nice effect, isn't it? We're getting some robotic stuff here. It kind of sounds like old movies. Let's go down a little bit on the LFO there, so we're getting a slower... What I love about Kaiaras' effects, he tries to make his stuff very different. Let's go down a little bit on the feedback. And that's a pretty nice effect we've got there. Yeah. Hello, my name is Jakob haQ, and you're watching Jakob haQ Live over at youtube.com/Jakob haQ Live. Not bad, not bad. So really, it would be a nice, interesting episode to make, right? For the main channel, where I can show very clearly how you can just use one delay plugin to do these things. Now, there's more going on in a lot of the chorus effects and plugins that the developers do. I want you to understand that even though it is this simple to get a chorus effect, I've listened to a lot of chorus effects. And I've listened to a lot of flanger effects from a lot of developers. And they all sound extremely different from one another, and that's because they're doing other stuff too. They're doing some weird filtering, some weird shapes. The shape you're using for the modulation, if you're modulating two channels independent. Hello? I disappeared there for a little while. If you're modulating two channels independently with time effects, it's pretty awesome. Now, I want to try doing the same thing in Dub Station. I think, is it Dub Station? Let's see here. I'm going to mute this. No, there we go. Okay, so you can still hear me, I hope. So this is Dub Station 2, and it's from Audio Damage. Now, this one works a little bit differently because the waveform being used for the LFO, I'm not sure, but I think it's a triangular waveform. I'm not sure. And so when you're doing the modulation, it gets a bit weird. But this thing has other things, like it has a dual mode, so we can do different effects on two channels, kinda. Okay, so right now I've got it in single mode, and I'm gonna pull up, and here we go. Yeah, sounds pretty nice. Pull down on the low cut. No, I'm actually gonna put it up. One, two, three. Testing. I'm probably missing a lot in here. In the chat. One, two. Okay, so we got some nice filtering going on there. So what do we do next? Well, we're gonna try making a chorus effect. Okay, so we're gonna pull down the delay time, and chorus effects usually you want to go from about 20, maybe 30. Okay, let's say 25 milliseconds up to 50 or so. After that, you kind of start losing the chorus effect. So we go down to, let's listen to that. Hello. 1, 2. Now we're at 60, and now we're at 30 milliseconds, 34 milliseconds. I'm gonna increase the feedback a little bit. Right, sounds pretty good. Okay, so we're gonna increase the LFO depth here. I'm gonna overdo this, and it's gonna sound really weird, I think. Yep, it's starting to sound really weird. We're getting pitching effect here. Pull down on the depth like that, and we're already getting a chorus-like effect because we're getting a slight shifting. If we want this to turn into a flanger, we have to go lower at 10 milliseconds, and I like going even further down. So we're going down into 10 milliseconds. I'm going down to all the way to about, come on, it's so hard to get. I want to go down to 8. Oh, it's dropped. As soon as I let go, it goes to 10. Oh, just. So we're at 6 milliseconds. If I increase the feedback, we're getting this weird thing going on. And if we want to now, we could do this in dual mode, like this. And now we have 2. So I'll do the other one. Come on. The other one is at 8 now. And now we're getting this really weird effect going on between the channels. Pretty cool, right? Alright, so we can also turn on ping pong. And now we're getting a very weird effect. It almost at certain point sounds like phasing. And that's simply because we've got a filter on here. But in order to make a phaser, we need way more filters, way more channels to do that properly. But this is a pretty cool effect, right? We can slow down the time, and we're getting a very weird effect here. There we go. Hello. There we go. So this sounds pretty nice too. Now, if we wanted to make something like a Haas effect, we just remove the because when you're doing a ha's effect, you're pretty much, that's around like 50 milliseconds, between 30 and milliseconds too, but no modulation, and you're just displacing time on one channel, shifting it slightly. And a ha's effect is basically a widener, so it sounds as if the sound is getting wider. So I'm gonna turn off the LFO like that, and we're already doing a kind of, you know, like a stereo effect here, because we've got two different delay times on two different channels, both being pitched or having different times. So I'm gonna move this up to maybe 50. No, let's go down. 34, and the other one at maybe 26 or something. Come on, I can't see. 32? No, I want it. 28. Well, we're getting a widening effect already. And the problem with these two plugins is that they have this widening effect already. I can turn this into mono by turning down the width. And if you want to do a flanger effect, turning down the width in both these plugins is pretty much the best way to do it. Lots of phasing going on. Yep, there's a lot of phasing going on actually. What else did I think of? Oh, that's right. Yeah, if you're doing like a chorus effect, and you remove the dry signal, you're basically getting a tremolo effect or a vibrato effect. So there you have a vibrato effect. So that's it, right? I mean, yeah, one delay, you can make a chorus, you can make a flanger, and you can make a vibrato. Not bad. And with some weird tweaking, you can get something sounding akin to a phaser, but not really. Yeah, but the principle is the same with the phaser and the flanger. Only the difference is that the phaser needs filters to go through. Now, I didn't really expect to burn through these demos with the how you do this with the delay in under, let's see here. What is it, like 35 minutes? Jacob, what are you doing? How am I gonna fill this out? Well, we could mix it up and add some other stuff in here, right? Am I missing anything? Have I blown any minds yet? Anyone? Have I blown any minds yet? I was hoping to. Once you know this stuff, everything changes. And so if you're don't get me wrong, if you're a cheapskate, don't kill me, okay? If you're a cheapskate, if you want to make your own effects by just buying as little plugins as possible, make sure that the delay you're buying has like dual channels, all right? Some widening effect, and make sure that it has modulation within LFO so that you can modulate the time. And these two are good. I do recommend FD1 and Dub Station 2. Those are kind of my main delays. I don't have that many other delays that I go for as soon as I need delays. I definitely use Dub Station for dub stuff because of the way that it works. And FD1, it even has a sequencer in there. I've featured it in my top list for FX App last year, I think. Pretty good thing. It's very, very, very powerful. So these can pretty much, cover you a bit when you want to do chorus, flangers, and stuff like that. Even ha's effects, if you don't want to buy plugins. But like I said earlier, many developers do stuff their own way, and that's why you can't really produce the same sounding effect as if you buy a plugin from, for instance, Bliss. If you buy the Bliss chorus and you try to produce that with FD1, you're not going to get to that point because what they've done is something different. Yeah, so if you don't buy more effect, you're missing out. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I say that because I have to buy everything that comes out. I have to buy it at some point. Yesterday, I purchased apps for. I used like what was it? I think I purchased app for $50 or $60 because I'm working on a comparison video. The next video is gonna be a big one for my channel. Not the next video because I have to make a shorter video in between. I don't want there to go 2 weeks before I post something. But it's a big comparison video, and it has to do with a certain type of reverb. So I had to buy all of the apps that does that certain thing in order to test them out to know which ones are gonna end up on that list. If you're a cheapskate, just get Drambo. Enrique is not wrong here, okay? Enrique is not wrong because Drambo can do. Someone sent me. I can't remember the name of that someone, but someone sent me a vocoder patch for Drambo. Okay, you can do anything with Drambo, and the same goes for MyRack. You can do anything with MyRack. So if you're into modulars, if you want to get into modulars but you don't want to get into the wiring, then you get Drambo. It's that simple. And one of the cool things that Drambo pretty much got an update, and in that update Beep Street added a feedback module, and that's important because the chorus effects, the chorus effect, the flanger effect, they all depend on feedback, and delay has that, right? They have that built in. If you wanted to build this by hand, then you would have to add feedback somewhere along the line, and it's nice that it got that. What apps did you get? I'll show you, Samuel, and everyone else if you're interested. I hope that I don't have my testing apps. Okay, so I already had Crystalline and Discord. I had to buy Shimmer Effect, Stellar, TB Reverb, Altessa, Bliss, and Bliss Shimmer. So these are all Shimmer Reverbs, all of them. Because in my last video, I did a video on reverbs, basically, on one specific reverb, doing one specific thing. And there were so many comments asking me about Altessa. Like, what do you think about Altessa in comparison to that reverb? And it didn't make sense to me, but if you don't understand why, then I get why you'd ask that, because Altessa for me is a shimmer reverb. Yes, it's a reverb, but it's a specific type of reverb, whereas the other one could never do shimmer reverb because it doesn't have a pitching module. All shimmer reverbs have a pitching module. You need to be able to pitch the incoming audio and put that on top of the regular audio and then feed it back into itself. And so in my very big video I'm working on, I'm showing examples of how to build your own shimmer reverb in 3 different ways. Plus, I'm going through probably all of these apps, showing how different they are and what makes each one of them special, just like with the vocoder video. So it's going to be a big one, a really big one, a heavy hitter, and it's going to take me probably a month or 2 to get it together. So I need other video projects in between. Now I kind of got off topic here because the topic of this video was basically blowing your mind with delays. And I'm kind of at a loss because I've already shown you how to do that, and I don't want to repeat myself. So what do? What I think we're going to do is we're going to do a shimmer reverb. Do I have a pitching module here? Let's see here. I could use Discord. All right, so, okay, I'm going to add another channel. I'm muting myself out for a little bit. So I'm loaded up again. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add an audio unit extension, and we're going to go to EOS2. Not EOS2. We're going to go to, what's the name of it again? How can I forget? Discord. Discord 4. And there we go. Here we have Discord. So Discord is a bit weird already, because Discord actually is supposed to do like shimmer reverb effects already, because there is a reverb here and it's placed within a feedback chain. And that's the trick. To make a shimmer reverb, you need reverb, of course, but you need to be able to pitch audio. And then you need to be able to feed that back into itself. And that's where you're getting this glistening, shimmering effect going up, 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 because it's going back into the pitch. And so it's being pitched, going back, being pitched again, and then again, and then again. And that's how you're getting this glistening effect. That's what the shimmer reverb is. So what I'm going to do is basically, I'm going to pitch shift this now. So let's see here. We're going to go, you know what? I'm just going to, how do I do this? Double tap? Can it, there we go. 1200, and that's up an octave. Hello? Okay, so I sound like a baby. That's a thing, I guess. So I'm gonna pull down on that effect because it's really annoying. And I'm gonna do the same thing here. 1200, that's 12 semi-notes, so a whole octave up. So now we have 2 pitching. But God, it's killing me. But I want it to be slightly higher. Okay, so we're gonna do up and down a little bit, so we get kind of a chorusy pitch shift. And there we go. Now I'm adding a reverb. Up with the size. There we go. Hello, hello, hello. Mix that up. Size and color. Okay, so it sounds really annoying, I know. And what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna feed this back into itself. And now I have to think a little bit. Am I doing this right? Wait. Yeah, okay. So I'm gonna do this. I've got my mic channel over here. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna set up a send effect instead. So I'm gonna choose this to be mix bus A, like that. Okay, so now I'm on this channel. I'm gonna send my microphone here to this because I've already loaded mix bus A. Double tap. Let's see here. Enrique, that shimmer effect is pretty good. I've tested it. So far I like it. The shimmer effect there from for pockets. Let's see here. We're gonna go to the bus end and A, and now we're sending that out to this effect. I'm gonna turn the mix up full, and now we're getting the same thing here. Okay, let's see if I can do this correctly. I'm now adding another send here, and I think I'm gonna get it right. I think I'm gonna add the same bus to it, bus A, and there we go. Hello? You here? Now we're getting a shimmering effect. If I had a guitar, this would sound way better because it doesn't sound good with my voice because you're hearing a pitch voice. But once you run a guitar or something in there, very different sound. We're already 1, 2. You hear that? It's feeding back into itself and getting pitched and pitched and pitched, and that's why it's glistening upwards. That's the shimmer effect. That's how simple it is. Again, I have to do a disclaimer. Yes, it's simple. But I've listened to a lot of shimmer effects. They all sound different. Why? Why don't they all just sound like this? Well, because of the way that developers think. And they'll all do stuff differently. Whew. All right, so let's see here. Sasha, you like the show tonight? That's good. That's good. That's good. Okay, I've been sitting here talking to myself, and the whole point of this live stream is pretty much I want to interact with you, so I don't want to miss out on you asking me stuff. By the way, what was it? I was going to say something. Yeah, of course. I've been talking. I was speaking about four pockets. I think yeah, I think you're actually supposed to pronounce it four pockets, not four pockets, four pockets, because he makes apps for pockets. Paul makes apps for pockets, right? Stuff you have in your pocket. And the new rack is pretty good. The new rack is pretty cool. I mean, I built this thing in here. I'm just gonna widen. Okay, I can't widen it because it's set to an amount. I've loaded my own graphics in here, and what it basically is, it's a LED level meter. It's a spectrum analyzer with several modes, and then it's got an oscilloscope. It's a perfect lab tool for when I want to do synthesis tutorials or something. It's just great because I can see the waveform. I can see the waveform perfectly right there, and it's just great. It's just great like that. Seeing the spectrum at the same time when you're constructing waveform and telling people how they're made up. It's great. You see everything instantly, and it didn't take me long to build this. And I can actually show you what this looks like. Double tap and go into edit mode, and there we have them. Those are the modules. So a LED meter, the spectrum analyzer graph, and the oscilloscope. And then I've basically made them all. I've just loaded my own graphic. It's kind of like a brushed scratchy metal, and my own logo haQ in there. And then I've just moved stuff around and deactivated some labels and stuff. It doesn't take long to learn. Maybe I'll do a video about this thing. It's just that as soon as I make something DIY, if I make a DIY video, no one's interested in those videos, guys. Like everyone wants to see synthesis videos. New-Rack is very interesting. And the only thing I'm missing in New-Rack is a feedback module. Maybe you can do feedback. I haven't figured out yet because I tried building. I wanted to build a Shimmer Effect in there too because you have a pitch module and stuff like that. There's like I think there's about 30 effect modules in there now because he added a few in the latest update, which happened like last week or 2 weeks ago. So you get 30 modules in there, and you can pretty much build anything you want. You have a splitter, you have mixer, you have loads of stuff. But I haven't figured out feedback yet. Plus, it also has audio unit version 3 multi-I.O. So you can have multiple inputs. And not only that, it actually has 3 racks. I'm only using one right now, but you can have 3 different racks and switch between them. Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's not too shabby. Really like it. Paul makes some pretty good apps, and he has some nice interfaces to them too. I showed this to Kai Aras, who made FD1 and Shockwave and Voltsynth, and he looked at it and he said, like, "What? Have you started programming or something?" And I'm like, "No, that's New-Rack." And he's like, "But it doesn't look like it's like hand built. It's the way that Paul has implemented all of his controls and stuff. It's just simply to implement, and you can have everything snapped to a grid." Yeah. Have I sold that to anyone yet? Mitch, I think you would really like this one. Samuel, have you used this? Like, anyone in here in the chat, is anyone using New-Rack? I mean, I know that for pockets stuff is pretty sought after. A lot of people like his stuff, and I agree. Whatever stuff I've tried from him is good. And we're getting into here's the thing. I talked about that with Kai, because one of his concerns is for the future. In the future, all of the app developers that are already on here, and a lot of developers coming on, including a lot of app developers making stuff on desktop now, porting their stuff over. You know, companies like Audio Damage, companies like Eventide. Come on. There are going to be full suites of apps from all companies having the standard delay, standard stereo, special delay, special stereo, special reverb, not stereo, special reverb, the chorus, the flangers, the pitch shifters, the vocal doublers, which you can also do with a delay, by the way, vocal doubling. You do that with a delay too. Yeah, that's another effect you can do. Like, all of these suites, full suites, are gonna be there, and in a year or two, all of the effects are going to have to, like, they've already made all the effects. What do you do then? How do you do it then? What do you add? Do you start getting into drum machine synthesizers? Maybe some developers have already done that. I mean, some developers should be worried by now that they're not going to have any ideas soon to do, because they've already made them all. It's a question about sustainability. I got my mom in the chat too here. Hey, Mom. I hope you're doing fine. Locked down over in your apartment. I hope that Dad is fine too. Let's see here. Mosaic is something I never got into myself, actually. Haven't done anything with Mosaic yet. I'm unsure. I know that Bram sent me code for it. I'm just not sure that I don't think I used it. That's usually what happens. I talked about that in the last episode, when we streamed, that they send me codes, but I don't have time to do it, and sometimes a week has gone by and then the code is old, because I've seen it, I've answered them, I didn't use the code, and I just like buying the apps anyway. If I'm gonna support someone, I can support them by buying their stuff, paying for it. It's just that when I want to do big episodes, I kind of have to buy 7. Hello. I have to buy 7 effects at once. Okay, so now I lost my microphone. Is it loaded? All right. Okay, so I'm bringing back the bad microphone. This microphone is no good, actually. I don't like this one. Ignoring? I'm not ignoring anyone. That's kind of what happens in the end, because whenever I'm working on a project, I'm fully focused on that project. That's why a lot of my YouTube friends, they have these Discord groups and stuff, and they always make me join. And what happens is I go in, say hello, and then they never see me again, because the sheer amount of time that goes into making my videos is something that is very it's something people never ever really see. So, like, a lot of people have thought that I've been like exaggerating when I say that the vocoder video took me 130 hours to make, and I haven't counted all of the time, because I mean, let's face it, I was working with vocoders way before that, many years. So it's kind of been in preparation for many years. I can't count that time, but I can count the time that I sat down and did some research, made material for it, edited the video, recorded video. That was 130 hours, 130 hours. And so if you have a few weeks, like 2 weeks or 3 weeks, and you count the hours you have in a week and how many like hours I work, I don't have much more time to actually sit down for hours and hang out with people all the time, because I want to use whatever extra time I have for live streams like this, for answering emails, for answering comments. I focus on that, and sometimes I don't even have time for that. And in the case of like the Borderlands video I didn't have any time. I had to go, with the backlog of emails for a month to answer them. Same thing with the sampler video. Jesus. Oh, oh. Yeah, well, Jim, that's kind of what it is. That's kind of what it is for me when I do that. The most amount of time I spent on a video in a row for 3 months was, it was 2 videos. It was pocket operated videos, and there were 3 months, and a lot of the time was testing, unpaid testing, unpaid everything. And then I spent
what was it, like 150 on one and 140 on the other. So altogether, you could calculate about 300 hours of time making those videos, basically. And that's just because I'm meticulous about stuff, and I like being as right as I can be, about stuff, and that's just how it is. I always try to differentiate myself from the competition, and even though I don't view other YouTubers as competition, as competitors, I really don't. I actually don't. I just try to run my own race the way I want, and that's just the way it is. There's nothing that makes me more irritated than when someone makes a video and then someone else makes a video of the same, with the same topic, and then people accuse the other one of copying the other one. I don't like that. I think that people should be able to make whatever videos they want, unless it's like a blatant plagiarism. Then the plagiarism, I don't like that. But what am I gonna do? Like, it happens. It's happened before. It's happened, but that's just the way it is. But in our tight knit community, I haven't seen stuff like that yet, and I'm happy about that. I'm really happy about that. Everyone seems to wanting to be do their own content their own way. I'm so happy about that. You all have your own unique style, and anyone that wants to know more about any channels that are doing good work out there, you can go to the description of any of my videos on both channels and go through the link collection of all the YouTubers that I promote, because yeah, I like when people have options. That's that's just the way it is. Does editing the video solely on the iPad slow down your workflow? Would PC editing be faster, more efficient? In many cases, yes. But here's the thing. I have become so quick that I have never had a quicker like working interface uh, than I have with the iPad. Uh, I've tested it. I fired up the very old PC, and it's actually quite fast doing certain things, but it's slower doing other things. I can't run any games on it, but I can do some video editing. And what I did was I tried editing some video in 480p. And when you're editing video in 480p, it doesn't matter how slow your computer is, it's gonna be fast doing that. And I tried it, with a mouse and with, you see, in LumaFusion, when you want to cut something, you just scroll. You have a marker, like the play marker. You scroll the play marker over where you want to cut, and then you tap two fingers on it, and it's cut. That, working like that, and being able to move and insta-paste stuff with my finger, I'm so quick with it. I can't get that quick on a PC. Maybe others can't. I can't. I can't. Because I'm touching the exact place. I'm at the exact place every time I want to do something. I'm at the exact place with my fingers. It's so valuable to me. So that is quicker. Exporting videos, because of the dedicated graphics chip in here being used for all of that, goes faster on the iPad than it does on a PC. It's much quicker there on the iPad than it is on a PC for me. It's pretty insane. You have to have a very hot PC in order to get up to those export times. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. Because Apple dedicates the whole graphics GPU and just turns off everything else when you want to export stuff. It's amazing. It's amazing. But when I want to animate stuff, I'm okay. So I'm not gonna joke about SUI-eyed. I'm not gonna say the full word because of the algorithm flagging stuff down. But I feel like I feel like I don't want to live sometimes when I'm doing animations on an iPad. There is to be, so much you can wish for. There's so much to be desired, when I'm doing animation. I absolutely loathe doing animation on iPad because there are no serious animation apps. I am not kidding you. I've done a lot of animations before in Flash, alright? Adobe Flash. And the kind of apps that I have to rely on iOS still now after so many years, I'm frustrated. I'm frustrated. It's horrible. They're so rudimentary, basic, that it's no, no. But I'm still doing it. So when I'm doing that, you want to see what it looks like? I can show you what it looks like. All right, so we go to Core Animator. This is Core Animator. And right now you don't see much. I'm just going to load this one. Here we have the animation I did for the latest video. It's just an animated Jakob. And basically, when you want to animate stuff, you go into animation mode and you pull this up. And here are the lanes. And whatever you've got in this box here, you can animate anything. Arms, legs, and stuff. It's just that it takes such a long time. And doing auto animations for certain things is hard. You want to do lip sync and stuff like that. There are no ways of scripting stuff to listen to audio to do lip sync and make lips and stuff. My animations would be way more sophisticated if I did them in Adobe Flash, or if I did it in After Effects. I could use After Effects even to do animation. Ooh, so it's not fun. Let's see here. Am I missing anything? Am I missing anything? I might be missing some stuff from some of you, and I do apologize if I'm missing a lot of questions here. And I've gone so off topic. I'll have to make a pinned comment under this video saying that the actual topic is just the first 35 minutes, and then you can click off if you don't want to watch the rest. The most lacking part in Luma is tracking and masking. Yeah, and you're forgetting one thing. One thing that every modern music video maker wants today: speed ramping. Speed ramping. I don't care about speed ramping, but I see that that's like masking, tracking. You know how I track stuff? I track my stuff manually. Yep, that's what I do. I track all my stuff manually. Every tracking you ever see in any one of my videos, I've done them in Luma Fusion, and I've done them by hand. And that is slow, my friend, and you know that. I wish I had a proper, like if I was using Premiere or a like After Effects, I could just do an auto track. It would be so easy to read the video, and if I wanted to do a reverse tracking, it would be easy. In Luma Fusion, you have to do it by hand. It's horrible. Well, this is the animation. It's not more than this. It's an animation pattern that I recorded, and when I want to export it, I just go here, and I have my animation done. And when I want to make a new one, I add another picture, and I change the animation a bit, and I export that. And that's the simplest animation I can make. I've done other animation, like the video I did with Apple Loves Your Money. It's in here somewhere. It is in here somewhere. I'm gonna download this and see if that's the one. Final Cut Pro, the tracking is not there. Yeah. Ed, hello Ed. Hello, Chris Wilson. iPad music production, does it have a future or is it a fad? I don't think it's a fad at all. Does it have a future? What you should be asking is mobile music making. Does that have a future? Because that's growing. It's on the rise, and especially in there have been in a lot of countries now where they've had like a, what do you call it, like a, where people haven't had internet access. They're starting to get internet access. They're starting to get a hold of smartphones at fair prices, and a lot of these smartphones can do a lot of stuff. And I know, because I've been producing all of my content on iDevices for ages now, and before that I had an Android and I was doing music on that. So the future of mobile music making is just growing, and if we look at companies, they're making more and more mobile stuff. Even when it comes to hardware, it's here to stay. It's not going anywhere. Even modular is making a comeback, and that's a very old thing, isn't it? All right, I mean, modular is kind of the oldest kind of synthesis you can make, and it's just on the rise, becoming more and more popular. More and more companies making more and more modules. It's gonna be the same thing with pads. They're gonna get thinner and thinner, and it's all gonna lose their ports. They're all gonna get wireless. The wireless gonna get better. We're gonna use wireless headphones. We're gonna use wireless this and that. We're already using Bluetooth MIDI controllers. We're using Bluetooth audio interfaces. I mean, there is a future of it. Mobile music making, absolutely a future of it. For Apple specifically, I can't say, but if they keep innovating, and it looks as if they want people to see that they are innovating, that's clearly one of the messages from the WWDC 2020 this year when I mean, Tim basically went out and Mr. Tim Apple, this guy here, this awesome guy, this awesome dude here, yeah, the dongle man. He just, we're gonna do it. We're innovating. We're still innovating. We're still innovating. That's what he said. I think they might be doing that with the iPads too. I mean, they're getting hotter and hotter really fast, and they've got some good people working on it. Yeah, yeah. In the end, I do think there's a future for it, definitely. So, what do you say, Tim? Is there a future? Huh? I want to see what you say. What do you say, Tim? Hey, isn't this? Where's my animation? Oh, come on, Tim. Did you break? Did you break, Tim? Oh no, this one doesn't have an animation. What happened to the animation? Come on, Tim. Tim broke my animation. Let's see here. Maybe I have one over here. I use Instagram for tracking. It doesn't track in landscape mode, but you can do the tracking. Yeah, I mean, I've seen some people do some tracking with like YouTube and other apps too. Yeah, and that's cool. I think I like being old school, so because I like my tracking to be in a certain way. And sometimes, especially like YouTube, can introduce some weird movement in their tracking, and sometimes it looks like you've got some weird interlacing going on, even though it really shouldn't be a thing. But I've been thinking recently about disruptive modular and mobile music products. Lots of ideas to consider. Michael, feel free to what do you call it? Um, Expand on that. All right, so chat, if you think that it's okay that I went off topic and we're talking other stuff, then let me know. If you don't think that it's okay, if you want me to redo the hey, this is how you do everything with a delay, then tell me that. I'm here with you. All right, we're doing this together. Whatever it is, I'm fine talking about whatever we want to talk about, as long as it is mobile, as long as it is iOS. I'm fine with it. Bluetooth audio is possible if it's aptX LL. Okay, aptX LL. That's new to me. A new thing. Tim is ridiculous, but I think he's fairly smart too. Actually, I mean, he seems to know how to run business, and we have to be honest with ourselves. We are not the core market for Apple. We're not. We are really not. We won't ever be. We're gonna be a part of the platform, but a core market, no. That's not what Apple is basing their numbers on. They're basing their numbers on the normal consumer, because those are the ones making them bloody, trillionaires. Okay, they're making them trillionaires. They're trillionaires. Okay, they're trillionaires because regular people like stuff a certain way. So while we may look at an iPad coming out the year after, like an iPad comes out and then a new iPad comes out in just a year after, and the only thing they've done really is added maybe a high resolution to the camera, a few new colors. Now we have them in pink and purple and purple and whatever, and they raised the price. To us, that's not very impressive, all right? And there's been a lot of that stuff. There's been a lot of that stuff from Apple. There has been. Yeah, but for the consumer, for a regular consumer, it might be, hey, I want something fresh, I want something new, I want that pink one, I want that purple one, I kind of want a little bit higher resolution on my camera. They'll switch it out. They'll go to Apple. They have this program with them. They were already paying for it. They're switching out their pad. They're getting something new. I mean, that's the core market. Not us. Not us. We want like definitive updates, upgrades. We want them to stop trying to force us to update iOS. That's what we want. But they're not going to stop doing that. They're not going to stop doing that. No. We have to be honest. We're stuck with the error screens. We're stuck with the do you want to update later? Maybe. I know you don't want to update now, but do you want to update later? And then there's like no option. We kind of want you to update, all right? We need you to update, so we're gonna keep we're gonna keep reminding you, all right? Is that okay? We're not intrusive. We're only doing this once a day. Audio interface best recommendation from Irvin Castro. Best when it comes to audio interface. Okay, you are probably gonna just dislike me for saying this. It depends on what you need. So, do you need, what are you working with? Are you working with guitars? Are you working with stuff like that? Guitars, bass guitars, stuff that needs to be plugged into a instrument port, high bias instrument port. Are you working just with stuff that uses RCA connector? Maybe you're a DJ. It's hard to know what would be the best suited for you, because there are so incredibly many audio USB interfaces that are compatible with iOS. And the only way to know what would suit you is to know what you intend to do with it. Do you need an XLR port? Are you going to be running instruments on there like synthesizers? Do you need line inputs? Or do you need something else? If you need XLR inputs, you need maybe phantom power because you're going to use microphones. You see what I mean? Do you need MIDI? Do you need USB MIDI? What are you going to be working with? You see how that works out? So in order for us to tell you, because a lot of the people in here could tell you, I'm working on playing for in church. My amp is a Roland KC550. Okay, so are you gonna be are you gonna be is it a band gig, or are you a solo guy? I don't know that. Are there more people that you need to plug in, or is this like you wanting to record the session or something like that? Increase the storage on this iPhone. We need better cooling in the iPad. Yeah, I live in Sweden. Whenever it gets hot over here, this thing gets hot. And, you know, these were made in a hot climate. They pretty much were. When it gets cold here, our iPhone dies, our iPad dies. They do. It looks as if the battery's lost its charge, even though it's 50%. And when you get it inside, as soon as it heats up, it will turn on again. I think it's doing that to protect itself. Stage play. All right, okay. Well, in that case, I mean, you kind of need, if you're going to plug it in like that, you kind of need the high C input. What is your budget? Like, you can get like cheap stuff instantly. If you go to a site like Toman and just search for USB audio interface and then turn on the pricing to start from the cheapest going up, almost the first ones there, they go about between, like the ones that have a high C inputs and XLR inputs combos, if you want to do that, if you don't need MIDI and stuff, you could get away for maybe like something like $30, $40. You can buy some really cheap, not necessarily bad cheap, like pretty okay stuff. If you want some more expensive stuff, like almost all of them listed in the first like 40 results will work, because most of them are USB class compliant. That's the only thing you need the USB interface to be. If it's USB class compliant, that means that it doesn't need any drivers. Because if you're installing a sound card on PC or Mac, sometimes they need a driver in order to fully utilize maybe some DSP engines in there or something. Class compliant means that it already has the most bog standard drivers to make USB work. It doesn't have anything else. And all of those USB interfaces work with iPad and iPhone as long as you power them correctly by using something like a Lightning to USB 3 adapter, where you have the power and USB adapter on there, or the CCK. Some USB interfaces need power. I have one behind here. I'll just unplug it and show it to you. This one will not suit you. Oh, I'm messing up my studio now. Come on, unplug. Oh, come on, always the last cable. Okay, so it's a bit dusty. Here's a audio interface. This one will not suit you because it's got RCA connectors. But I got this one because I use a lot of stuff with RCA connectors or that type of cable, and then it has USB ports, which means I can plug in all of my MIDI controllers in here. And that's pretty much it. And that one costed about $150, and they don't sell them anymore. But I would recommend you looking at something like, let's see here. Maybe I can bring up the Thomann app, and we'll look at them. Let's look at some USB form. Yeah, someone mentioned using a U44. Let's see here. We're gonna go to categories, and we're gonna go to Studio Gear. And right now this language is in Swedish. Maybe that's too glary for you. Let me pull that down a little bit. Maybe there. Is that less glary? No, that's very glary still. I'll put down the. Yeah, okay, so that it kind of works. Sound interface, USB interface, and here we go. And if we go to price, the lowest price first, and here it starts out. Very small ones. There is some from a company here which I don't want to recommend because I don't like the way that they handle criticism, but I'm still gonna show it here. Just there are some cheaper ones here, like the Euphoria series from this company who cannot handle criticism correctly. This one has a mic line input. I think it's is it just a mic preamp? No, it actually has an instrument input if you need just one of them. I mean, it's the simplest, most rudimentary stuff you can have, and it's not much. There are, if you go up, you have more. Some of these are not USB class compliant. Like I know for a fact that the Swissonic UA2 x 2, I think this one is not class compliant. I think this one isn't. Yeah. I'm not sure. Wait a minute. No, wait. Wait. It supports Apple's native core audio. Okay, so if it does that, it's probably class compliant. Then this thing would probably work also for your iPad. It's about, what is it? I have it in euros right now, but I would say that that's probably $55 or something like that. It's got two inputs. I think one of them is a high C or something. Two outputs. So when it comes to the best, I couldn't tell you which one is best. All you have to look at what you really need, and how many inputs and what type of inputs. If you're thinking of plugging instruments or amplifiers, if your amplifier has a line output, then you need a line input. If you're thinking of connecting your guitar or whatever right into the sound card, you need a high Z input. I don't know if I'm helping you out. Does it feel like I'm helping you out, or am I just confusing you? If you're still here, Irvin, let me know if I'm confusing you. New tricks. We got new tricks in the chat too. I really like the Roland Rubik's 22. Yeah, and I think they have the Rubik series over here too. Let's see here. Go in lowest. No, not the highest. We don't want to go on the highest. The Roland ones. Where do they start? Don't they have them here? New tricks. What price range do they start at? I can't remember. I think they have the Roland Rubiks. I can't find them. Where are they? There's the Steinberg 2, UR 242. The Focusrite ones are really, really good. And I'm actually going to get a Focusrite one. Because I'm going to switch out the one I have over here. I've been using one from a company that cannot handle criticism, and I want to switch out the one that comes from that company that cannot handle criticism. Sorry if I'm boring you. I just that it really got to me. It's just that I don't want to use gear from a company that trademarks people's name because they get a little bit butthurt. Let's see here. The Focusrite Scarlett ones are really, really good. I know several people who uses them too. And if you go to if you got a Facebook, if you're still here, by the way, if you got Facebook, I do recommend you um, joining up on the iPad musician group. If you have Facebook, you have to have your messaging on when you want to join because Linda Quenemoon, who runs that, she will test you out with a question to see if you're human or if you're an Android. And if you're an Android, don't tell her. Just don't tell her. Act like a human. Don't tell her that you're an Android, and everything will be fine. But there's so many helpful people in there. Audio Bus Forum, same thing. A lot of people, will help you out there too. The best 61 key MIDI keyboard. Oh, you're asking the wrong dude because I'm the kind of guy that uses stuff like this. That's what I use. So, yeah, you might want to ask someone who plays keyboards because that's not me. I'm a finger drummer, shitty keyboard player person. I'm shitty. No, I'm not shitty. Yeah, I'm shitty sometimes. I can be shitty. I try to not be an overly shitty person every day. You see, you're already getting help in here. This is awesome. Mitch from Audio Dabbler, who also has a channel, likes the innovation SLM, yeah, SLMK, SL, the thing he wrote there because that's nice. MPK Mini MP, MK2 after Kakai released MPC Beats for free. Oh, that should be a great fit, by the way. Yeah, there are a lot of good keyboard reviews. I do have a few keyboard reviews, and I still haven't made one for the Nano Key Studio because it's not for everyone, and probably not for someone asking for a 61 key MIDI keyboard. I mean, what are you looking for? Are you looking for some like I don't know your budget. Maybe you're one of those people who wants to feel real. Maybe you want some hammer action in there, like have it feel like a proper piano keyboard. Maybe you should be looking at one of the big Roland keyboards. I mean, they're not, I wouldn't say that they're expensive. They're pricey, but woo, they've got some nice feelings in them. Even for someone who don't play pianos, like me, they're pretty good. Pretty good. Yeah, I love it. I love it when people help others out. Orafuda says Facebook is the world's tracking app. I don't use my account. Ah, of course, yeah, that. You see, I've solved my fear of Facebook and every other social network platform site, including YouTube. I mean, they're collecting data on me, the way I upload my stuff, the way I do my numbers, and then they use the data, and then they will just throttle the amount of views and recommendations that I get. That is the thing on YouTube. It does throttle stuff. It's been tested and tried over and over, and there are videos showing the result of that, how throttling works on YouTube. And not too long ago, YouTube had a little glitch which accidentally showed people their P score if you knew what to look for, and that's pretty much the rating that the algorithm uses to promote you. And yeah, that's the thing. And for people who does commentary stuff, which they have a hard time on YouTube. They really do. And there are some commentary channels that I really like that they have had their P scores downgraded, which means that they're also seeing less recommendations, and they're clearly seeing that. So YouTube fixed that though. 6 hours I think they took, and then they fixed that so no one could see it because they don't want that. No, 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 no. In the future, YouTube is probably going to turn into a completely. It's going to become. It's already becoming less and less broadcast yourself, and they're trying to streamline it into something that the same thing that TV was in the back in the day. That's what YouTube want to become, I think. Oh, that's a nice thing there. Right, we're so off topic. We've been looking at sound cards, we've been looking at animations, we've been talking about video editing, we've been talking about how to make everything with a delay. And yeah, so far I've had a lot of fun during this live stream. I was again, like I am with every topic that I bring up, insecure about this topic. I wasn't sure that people would like it. You know, it's nerdy stuff. I've tried it before, titling my videos in such a way. Whenever I title a video with DIY in it, way less people watch it. Ooh. And noise gate, whenever I've done that, no one watches it. The least viewed videos on my channel are like tips and tricks and noise gate and DIY. People don't like those words. So I've gotten some videos where I do stuff like that, but I have more views on them, and it's simply because I titled the videos. And so I thought, okay, maybe they just click on it and then they jump out of it. But when I look at the viewing statistics, once they get in, they actually watch it. And so that's a kind of a thing, I get why people do click baiting titles, and I've tried to make my titles more baity, but I never lie to my viewers. Always get what I say is in there. Jakob, another video with pocket operators? Question mark. Yeah, I have a lot of plans of doing a lot of stuff, and I'm thinking of a video with pocket operators, and a video with pocket operators and OPC, a video with pocket operators, and doing some weird sync stuff with an iPad, and that's what I want to do. But I want it to be like interactive in some way, having the chat say like, can we do this? Can we sample this? What can we do with this thing? I want it to become like that. I'm getting more and more comfortable, with this streaming thing. For a very long time, it was uncomfortable for me. And in my real life, this is pretty much how I am. Only I'm quiet. Wait, that doesn't make any sense. I'm a weird person, all right? I like hanging out with these things. These are my best friends. I don't know if that's sad. Is that sad? Maybe some people really do get sad when they find out how lonely I really am. My girlfriend also. She is also kind of lonely, But we're lonely together. And we're lonely because we like being alone doing our stuff. Basically. She's been like a journalist for a very long time, and she works just as much as I do, because they have a paper to publish. And so when you need to do an all-nighter, which is almost all the time, you have to do an all-nighter. Interviews. I've been learning from her how to do interviews and articles, and I'm turning my articles into videos instead, into my docutorials, into my tutorial and documentary format. Nutrix says it's not sad. Nutrix, your vote doesn't count because you're just as lonely as me, probably. You just hang out with your machines, dig in with your machines. I don't know, actually. I don't know. Do you have like a family or something? You don't have to say specifics. I know YouTubers don't want to talk about stuff openly, stuff like that personal, but I don't know. Do you have a family? Maybe you do hang out with people. Sasha loves tricks and tricks videos. I know, Sasha, I know. And I am gonna make them. But that's also kind of a thing I like doing here. Because if you think about it, Sasha, what we did at the first 35 minutes of this live stream was ticks and trips. Trips and tricks. Trips and trips. We did a lot of... We did stuff. We did that thing that you think is good. We did that thing. We actually did. And we're gonna do more of that. So feel free to suggest topics. I'm making notes about everything that people write to me, and whenever I don't have a good idea, you know what? Next stream, I am gonna pick one of your ideas. Actually, The audio dabbler says it's not sad. Okay, Mitch, I know for a fact you have a family, but you're probably just like me too. You spend a lot of time alone with stuff, machines, right? Right? And of course, we don't feel that it's sad because that's how we are. Who am I kidding? Maybe most of you watching my videos, both on the main channel and here on the live stream, maybe most of you like being alone, doing stuff alone. If Electronic Sounds is here, Dean, I know, I mean, isn't that a thing? Like being alone, focused on this one thing, this task, this problem to solve? That's why we were making videos. We're trying to solve problems for ourselves and for others. The compressor idea, right? Side chaining. All right, all right. Sasha, have you? I just have to ask you. Have you seen my other videos on side chaining compression? I've made 3, I think, so far. If you haven't, feel free to go back and watch them. And if you have any like questions that pops up after watching them, then feel free to email them to me. You can find my email address, I think, on the About Me page on my main channel. I think I'm gonna add it here to the live channel too. And we love reading manuals. Yeah, yeah. I kind of like going through the manuals. Many time I send back like, hey, there's spelling mistakes here. I like proofreading for people. Do you guys do that too? Solarizer says, I like being alone and making music. I completely get that. I completely get that. It, it's just that, I don't know. I had a discussion with a person with a woman on a bus once, and she said that musicians she stopped dating musicians because they're egotistical. It's both true and not true at the same time because we have huge egos. It's the huge egos that drives us on and makes us do exactly what we want to do. In order to be creative, to want to be creative, you have to listen to that ego. You have to give into it and let it just, you roll with every idea like you get. The problem is when the ego tells us to do other stuff. In my case, I'm a sober drug addict and alcoholic. So when listening to my ego back then, wasn't such a good idea because I almost lost everything. Almost everything, almost lost my life. So the mm, yeah, egotistical can be. We have big egos. I can say that, and I've had to learn how to not listen to that for a long time. But she said that she stopped dating for that, but that she missed that because she didn't have that herself. And that's mostly why she thought that she was dating people like that because she she was not the opposite of being selfish, like the opposite of being having a big ego. She kind of needed that in her life. It's just that like when she hung out with people like that, she kind of felt like she was losing herself. And I've been talking to my girlfriend about that because she is very non-selfish, very non like she doesn't have a big ego, even though she is a very creative, smart person. She is. And I've asked her, like, do you feel like you disappear under me? But no, she doesn't. At least that feels good. I've been worried about stuff like that. Ever since I became sober, I've been thinking about my life and the way that I've affected other people, um, both positively and negatively, but mostly about the negative ways. And it feels good to be with a partner who feels at least so secure in herself that she doesn't disappear under my ego or something like that. And we both come to the point where we understand that we are picking up stuff from each other without any issues about it. I don't have a problem with her being creative, even though I am creative and have an ego. I like that in her. And usually, when people are very much alike, they usually don't go well together. But we're both sober people, and we both lived crappy lives. Um, I think that might have something to do with it. I don't know. I don't know. How does she do that? I don't know. I don't know. It's it's a big question. I don't know. How did I let go of my ego in most things? I don't know. I realized one day that I had an ego. And as soon as I realized that, for me it was, I didn't understand that. I didn't know. I didn't know I was acting like an asshole. I didn't. As soon as I saw it and realized it, I had a choice. And that's the thing. I've had that same choice so many times, but every time I chose to go the other way because I was still a drunkard. And it affected my ability to make that choice. I took that choice away from myself. It's my own fault. As soon as I was sober, after something really, really bad happened to me, after a drunken night, after me being way too high on shit that no one should take, well, I had a choice again, and this time I was really hurting, and I listened to that pain, and I let myself feel that pain, and I let it pass. So the physical pain disappeared, but not the mental pain, and I kept that. Keeping that pain and having something to work for, like this channel, has made me way more humble because it's made me listen to other people. That's the problem when people have big egos. They don't want to listen to anyone but themselves, and if they don't know, they can't do anything about that. In her case, not being selfish, she's always been a person that cares for others, and I thought I was that too. You know, I thought I was. Everyone thinks that they're the good guy. I always thought I was a good guy. I haven't always been that. Ugh, I hate knowing that now, but it's good. For her, I don't know what that means. Being able to feel secure in yourself when maybe a lot of the time in your life you have maybe relied on others, or you kind of need others to push you. You know, you feel insecure enough. You don't like talking to people. You're afraid of feeling weird, you know, in front of people, having a hard time socializing, being introverted. I thought I was introverted. I am extroverted, but I'm I'm scared to death from meeting people anyway because I can't handle people for long periods of time, just like my girlfriend, but for different reasons. So I don't know how she did it. But you know what? I will ask her. And if I get a chance to talk about this without people getting annoyed with me talking about stuff like this on a music live stream, then let's get into that. Let's talk a little bit about that. What it means to her. Maybe she has an answer. It's not sad. I love reading that. It's not sad. There's so many comments in here. It's not sad. I'm gonna screenshot it's not sad and put them together so it looks as if there's like three comments. Why don't all of you type down there? Just type it right now. It's not sad, and I'll use that somehow. Promoting this channel on Instagram and stuff. Like what happened last time on the live stream. It's not sad. Yeah, we're all human. Thanks, Mom. Yeah, I'll give her a big hug. You know, she loves you too. You know that, right? She loves you. She loves Dad. She loves my brother, my sweet niece, who I haven't met for a long time. And right now, it's kind of hard to go around meeting people anyway because of obvious reasons in the world. It's not. It's not sad. Hashtag. It's not sad. It's not sad. It's not sad. I love it. Oh yeah, this is so good. Okay, I'm gonna make a little. Let's see here. I'm making a screenshot here. It's not sad. This is great. This is great. It's not sad. Thanks everyone for that. Thank you. I'll use that. Awesome. And only you will know what it means. The ones here on the live stream, only you will know what it means. Everyone else has to go through all the 1 hour and 40 minutes before they realize what it means. Buy only cuddly apps and never feel lonely. Yeah, Nick, I do agree with you. Future music. Oh, you've been lingering here. I haven't said hello to you. Chitlin. Hello and welcome to the stream. Also, hello and welcome, Dave. Sup, Dave? Keep trucking. Keep trucking. Hashtag everything is fine. I love this. So somber. So somber. I keep scrolling up the text and everything. Okay. Even my mom jumps in on this. It's fine to have dyslexia. That can be fun sometimes, you know, especially when you're writing a company who never know, like who hasn't heard about you. I've had some pretty fun write-ups, you know, or fun stuff happening to me, writing some weird stuff, or the best one where I keep I write my email off my phone and I keep my text in Swedish, but I think I'm writing in English, and what you end up is this weird gibberish, and and I got a message back from a company. Um, which kind of has a non-disclosure agreement in their email, so I probably can't mention who it is, but it's someone high up in a company, and they're writing back to me, and this person wrote swingrish question mark, and I'm like, what kind of a response is that? And I didn't understand. And so before I sent like, what do you mean? I went back and checked, and I saw all the gibberish I wrote, 2 paragraphs full of gibberish, me thinking I'm writing in English, but it's set to autocorrect in Swedish. Great, Jacob. Come on, show. There we go. So how do I do animations for Luma? You have an app for that? Just shoving my questions in. Orafuda, I animate all my stuff. When I do animations with figures and figurines and stuff like that, I use Core Animator. That's what I use. This app right here, basically. Um, it's got animation tools and it leaves a lot to be desired. If I want to animate some simple stuff, let's say I have in my last video, there's a segment where I'm saying I have a text, I have clouds moving like this, and it's basically just parallax. So in LumaFusion, I'm just using keyframes to move pictures around. So it's pictures of clouds stacked on top of each other, sized differently, and then I'm just using keyframes from one side to another, and I'm just moving the clouds different directions at different speeds. That's an animation. It's still an animation, but when I want to do simple stuff like that, I do it directly inside LumaFusion. One key mark here, and then move the picture. One key frame here, move the picture again. And when you play it, it's going to move across the screen. Put another cloud on, do the keyframing in the reverse, put another cloud on, move it slower, another cloud on, move it faster in the background, and suddenly you have a parallax, and it's revealing a question. IAA versus Audio Unit 3. Simple animation for that. LumaFusion is perfect because you don't need more. But you want to animate some figures, Core Animator. There are other animator apps, but nah. If you want to draw, if you can draw, I can't draw. I use pictures, you know. If you want to draw, there's several good animation apps out there. I can't remember which ones they are because I can't draw. Nutrix does the same thing between French and English. Right, Nutrix, you're in Canada, aren't you? You're Canadian, right? You're from Canada. Hence the French. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I was gonna ask that. Do you speak French mostly, or do you speak English mostly, or is it like a mix between? I've been speaking like English and Swedish since I was a child, thanks to my mom teaching me English very early, and that's why I have such a great understanding of it. But my grammar is still very bad, and my pronunciations of some words are bad. Sometimes it just shines through that I'm Swedish. I've been trying to use different accents, like British accents and American accents and different stuff, but now it's just a mishmash. It's a mix of everything I've ever spoken, every accent I've ever tried speaking all my life, and that's why I sound so weird. Yes, okay, mostly French, but Montreal is bilingual. All right, did I say that right? Montreal, Montreal. I think that's how you say it because some say it Montreal and some say it Montreal. I only speak English all my life, and my grammar is still bad. Well, that's just how it is sometimes. My Swedish grammar can be really bad too. Schwinglish for the win. Is it for the win, or is it for the world, or is it? No, it's not that. I'm not gonna say the third thing. I have to stop streaming in a minute because I can smell food, and my girlfriend is cooking for me again when I'm streaming, which is nice. Maybe she's been listening to this. The last two streams, she's been listening to everything I say here. Maybe she have an answer for me for that question that you asked, Orfu. Montreal, Montreal with a T. You see, I see there's a war online between people saying Montreal and Montreal. Yeah, WF is the other one. Yeah, of course. I always read that, but it could be F the world. You see what I mean? It could be that your English is understandable. I can't figure out. That could be, it could be like a cynical criticism. It's probably not, but it could be, and I find that extremely funny. I love cynicism. I love cynical, dark humor, very dark humor. I love weird humor. Anyone ever seen The Office from whatever country you're in? We have a Swedish Office. I've seen that. I've seen the American The Office. I've seen the Office from the UK, The Office. Should a microfreak be my next synth purchase? Chitlin, before I leave, okay? What other synthesizers, hardware synthesizers do you have? Go. Type in chat before I answer. Yeah, I'm just gonna pack up here a little bit. I hope you can still hear me. You should be hearing me because the microphone is coming from my headset. There we go. Yeah, it's nice with this setup because this thing always hides the cabling. So I've tried filming this set from the right straight at it when everything is lined up, and the set looks perfect, just perfect. Also, I don't know if you've seen this, but I used to have silver colored lights. You see, I've changed these out. They're now in a dark blade grack. You see what I mean? Grack blade. Black grayish, black gray color. Yeah. So my lights are nice, and I now have these things here. I'm waiting for a thing to put my webcam in, and then my setup is pretty much done. Okay, so you have a Volca. Then I think you could probably, yeah, you could definitely go for a microfreak. Remember that it's a mono synth, but it has a paraphonic mode, which actually polyphony has to do more with filters than it has to do with the amount of notes you can play. Actually, if you ask Mark Doty, the Buchla guy, then he will tell you exactly what that is. But if you hit the paraphonic mode, you can play 4 notes. All right, but it's monophonic. It's a mono synth. It's very powerful with its modulation section. It has an envelope that can be used in 3 different ways, which is awesome. You can loop it. You can do so much with it. You can use it as an LFO basically, but with envelope shapes. That's awesome. It's got an arpeggiator. It's got so much. It's got so much. Yeah, I definitely think you should go for Microfreak. Yeah, definitely. Doty does love the freak. He does love the freak, and I get that. I mean, it's a cool synthesizer, and it's so different. It's so different. You want a Wasp? Yeah, yeah. I want a real Wasp. I've been thinking of building something like that. Irvin Castro, collaboration with True Cuckoo. Cuckoo, who I met, he is very much a loner when it comes to stuff, but he does do bigger, collaborations with people. The thing is, if we would do a collaboration, I think it's harder because Cuckoo is kind of like me when it comes to being meticulous about stuff. He likes stuff in a certain way, and when Cuckoo does collaboration, he usually goes to the person. He lives in Norway, and I live in Sweden. We live pretty not too far apart. It's like states. America is pretty big compared to Sweden and Norway, so it's like going from one state to another. Basically, the amount of distance I have to travel, so it's pretty far that way. So that might happen in the future, might not. I don't know. I like the guy either way. I mean, if it would come up, I wouldn't be. I would be down for it, of course. What was his name? Boo. He's. I don't. I think it. I don't know, but I think he told me not to use his real name. And when people tell me not to use their real name, I don't. Okay. Yes, Altessa sound good, but Altessa is a Shimmer Reverb, and you'll see that. Stay tuned for an episode that will come on the main channel in 1 month or two. There's going to be a big comparison. Altessa is on that list. Altessa is on that list. It's going to be big, 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 big video. Very deep, very deep. Something to just make some popcorn for, sit back, kick back. I'm going to make it really entertaining and full of musical shots in there and stuff, like I normally do. Alright, so I have to go, everyone. Food might be done out there. So thank you so much for joining up, and thank you for making the stream so interesting, even though I only did what the title says for 35 minutes. I'm gonna pin a comment instantly now when I end the stream. So thank you so much for joining up. You've been watching Jakob haQ Live here at YouTube, and I hope I see you next time, all of you, the same crowd. Just love seeing you here. And for everyone who joins up later and watches the stream after it's done, thank you for coming back and watching, even though we don't get to interact. And as I said before, I'm going to try to stream at other times so that I can interact with all of you, because I do want to do that. The whole purpose of the stream is interacting with you. And I have way more fun going off topic, answering questions and asking you questions, than I have just sitting here and mulling over a tutorial over something that I am already doing on the other channel. I'm already doing that. So, M&M's, you're eating M&M's instead of popcorns. I love that. I love that apples and bananas kind of comparison you do there. I just love that. I love it. So thank you so much, and see you next Wednesday, same time, same place. Jakob haQ Live, youtube.com/Jakob haQ Live. Very easy to find, and not so easy to end the stream. But I'm gonna end the stream, and I'll see you next Hackness Day, as Nick says. And have a nice evening, Mom. We'll have to talk soon. Probably not now because I'm gonna eat, but later. Bye bye. Right. Always the thing of me trying to find the off button. I'll just end the stream.